Have you ever wondered how a city takes a massive, game-changing idea and actually, well, makes it happen? We're talking about those huge projects that can reshape entire districts, create tons of jobs, and really define a city's future. Today, we're going to dig into one city's new game plan for turning that kind of ambition into reality. But that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How does a city take one of these giant plans off the drawing board and turn it into a real, thriving success on the ground? It is a huge challenge, and believe me, the answer is rarely simple. Okay, so let's get into it. It all starts with something planners call catalysts. Think of them as special projects that have the power to ignite growth all around them. But here's the thing, managing these critical projects is one of the toughest jobs a city has. Now, for a long time, the city we're looking at had this kind of one-size-fits-all approach. All their key development projects, places like Bellevue and Philippi, were all just lumped together under one big, broad program. And you can probably guess what happened. Nothing got the specific attention it really needed. And this created a really serious problem. You can see it right here in this quote from an internal document. A huge risk was flagged. The city's most important projects, the real game changers, were just getting lost in the shuffle. They were in danger of being seen as just another item on a long list, losing that top priority status they absolutely had to have. So faced with that risk of everything just grinding to a halt, the city knew it was time for a major rethink. They didn't just tweak the old plan. No, they drew up a completely new blueprint, one designed for pure focus and action. And here it is. This is the heart of the new strategy. They took that one big blurry initiative and split it into two distinct razor-sharp programs. On one side, you've got local area development, which is all about strengthening neighborhoods. And on the other, you have key economic precincts, which is laser-focused on creating jobs and boosting the economy. See? Two different goals, two totally different playbooks. So let's dive into the first half of this new strategy, right? The Local Area Development Initiative, also known as 1.4A. This part is all about building strong foundations. It's about stabilizing and developing local areas using smarter planning and better land management. The key strategy here is something called transport-oriented development, and a place like Philippi is a perfect example of where they'll be using this approach. And you know, that term is really crucial. Transport-oriented development, or TOD. It's not just about putting in a few more bus stops. It's a whole philosophy. It's about creating these lively, walkable communities where people can live, work, and hang out, all centered around great public transport. It's about building neighborhoods for people, not just for cars. Okay, so that covers the community and stabilization side of the coin. Now let's pivot and look at its high-powered partner, Initiative 1.4B. This is the real economic engine of the new plan. This initiative is all about jobs and growth. It's that simple. Its whole mission is to find these key economic hotspots, like the Cape Town CBD or Belleville, and do whatever it takes to unlock their potential. The strategy? Use city-owned land to draw in private investment and get projects off the ground and built. Fast. So when you put these two new initiatives together, you start to see that it's way more than just a simple reorganization. It's a fundamental shift in the city's whole philosophy. A very deliberate move away from endless planning and toward decisive action. This really lays out the shift perfectly. Before, these huge projects were just a line item, kind of buried in a bigger planning document. Now, with this new structure, the focus is squarely on direct project execution and getting that investment in place. It's a move from the abstract to the concrete. So, what this all means is that the city is recasting its own role in the whole process. It's moving away from trying to be the sole driver of every single project and instead positioning itself as a powerful enabler of growth. So what does being an enabler actually look like in practice? Well, it means the city takes those critical first steps. It unlocks valuable, perfectly located land, it gets the site ready with all the necessary infrastructure, and then it creates the perfect opportunity for the private sector to step in, build housing, and create jobs. Basically, the city sets the stage for success. And to make sure this new proactive approach actually gets results, there's clear accountability. The city's Spatial Planning and Environment Directorate, that's the department that's on the hook. They're tasked with managing these programs and delivering tangible results. All right, so we've looked at the old way and the new way. We've seen the big shift from planning to action. But what does all this, administrative change actually mean for the city's future growth? This table tells the whole story, doesn't it? The focus goes from broad and unfocused to specialized and targeted. The city's role transforms from just a general planner to a proactive enabler and executor. And most importantly, the expected outcome changes from a risk of stagnation to a clear path towards real clarity, growth, and jobs.
And that right there is the single most important thing to take away from all this. This isn't just about shuffling departments or renaming programs. It is a fundamental strategic pivot from a culture of just planning to a culture of actually doing.
Which, of course, leaves us with one final, critical question. The city has redrawn its map for success, creating a focused, action-oriented blueprint. But will this new plan be the powerful catalyst it's designed to be? Well, only time, and the results on the ground will really tell.